Hi there. I wanted to say a few words about a problem that's developing and becoming more and more prevalent in the dog behavior and training world. If you've got a dog that has problem behavior and you've had a positive only trainer out and you've not gotten the results that you expected, but you've paid good money for it, then you need to be listening to this. If you're training and building new behaviors and improving existing behaviors, then positive reinforcement training is by far and away the best thing you can do. It's all I've ever done for 15, 20 years now. But if you've got a dog that's got a problem that you want to stop that problem, then you have to use more than just positive only training. I'll give you a couple of examples. I've got a bearded collie right now that was bought as an 8-week-old pup. It started resource guarding at 10 weeks. At 18 weeks, it was aggressive to the owners when they tried to put a lead or harness on it. It got to the point where it couldn't go to a groomer because it was a bite risk. It was hypervigilant and could not settle. And they've worked with several trainers and qualified behaviorists who have been positive only. And over that time, the dog has progressively gotten worse and worse and worse. I think he's now about 10 months old. So over the last 7, 8 months, 9 months that they've been working with positive only trainers and behaviorists, no progress has been made. In fact, the behavior has deteriorated and gotten more dangerous and more erratic. So we haven't actually solved the problem yet, but right now we're changing diet, we're changing routines, and we're doing basic training to try to get the dog off of the high he's on and down to where we've got a manageable dog that we can work with. The second case was a terrier dog, a rescue mixed breed terrier dog. He's been rehomed today because by the time I heard about him, I offered to go see him for free and they refused. They've had 3 trainers and a behaviorist in, all force-free. He was attacking her other dogs. It started out around food and it generalized to random attacks for very little reason. He's good with other dogs for the most part. And all of the advice they were given was using treats, using rewards to distract him, throw him on the floor, give him treats to associate the other dog with him. The last trainer suggested tying him to a radiator or keep him in a crate or putting baby gates around the house to stop him getting to the other dog and just managing the situation. But that's not curing the behavior. So his behavior has progressively become worse in spite of several force-free trainers trying to work with this dog. So what's the problem? Well, as I said at the beginning, force-free, reward-based training is great for building behaviors. But when it comes to stopping unwanted behaviors, some form of punishment, by scientific definition, some form of punishment is necessary to reduce behaviors reoccurring. And of course, the trick is to use the mildest form of aversive or mildest form of unpleasant consequence that you can provide for the dog that gets him to the point where he says, wait, I don't want to do that because this bad thing's going to happen if I do X behavior. As soon as he stops doing that and gives you a different behavior, you can reward that and you can change his attitude and change his decision making really, really quickly and effectively without causing major stress. Positive only trainers would refuse to do that. They'll be abhorred to hear me say this because they would rather not use anything aversive, but then if the dog has to be rehomed or euthanized or put in a rescue kennel for the rest of his life, and the trauma that the family suffers, the loss, the heartache, and the kids suffer from losing their dog, I guess they can wash their hands of that because they don't feel they didn't do anything wrong. That's just a dog that was untrainable. Well, it's just not true. The dogs are trainable if you do the right techniques. So for eliminating unwanted behaviors, you've got to set some kind of consequences. You've got to set up a situation where the dog makes a decision not to do that behavior. If you've got an aggressive dog, many people tell you to train him to look at you instead of the object that he's aggressive towards. And that will work to an extent until you get to the point where the object is too close to him, or he's in a bad mood, or he's so hyped up he can't control himself. And that aggressive behavior is still in his repertoire of behaviors. It's still not been stopped. It's not been reduced. And in certain situations, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to express that behavior. Whereas if you use some mild aggression, aversion to stop him from being aggressive, he will make the decision, oh, I'm not going to do that because something bad happens when I do that. If I stay here by my owner, I'll get treats for just standing and looking at the dog. So it's really, really fairly simple. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's all just down to the fact that people have this ethic that says they will not use anything except positive only methods for every dog that they go see. So we're not talking about choke chains, we're not talking about prong collars, we're not talking about shock collars, we're not talking about hitting or kicking dogs or causing them physical pain. Those things are just not necessary. There are lots of very mild ways of letting a dog know that he's not supposed to do something. So if you've got a problem behavior and you've had positive only trainers out who have failed to give you any kind of solution or answer to your problem, then look around for behavior trainers who use a wide variety of methods and have lots of tools in the toolbox and are not averse to using mild consequences to stop unwanted behaviors. If we don't do that, we're going to see more and more dogs in pounds, in rescues, and being put to sleep. So thank you for watching, and bye for now.